Stop creating chaos. You do not stand for me, and I want you to step down.
The mayor of Dalton, Tiffany Henyard, lashed out at her board of trustees during another tense meeting.
She vetoed the board's decision to require the village to open its financial books.
This what y'all say about the person. Y'all say he's never at work, he'll do his job. Is this what y'all say? So what we doing, guys?
I can say what I want because what I'm saying is
don't touch my son. Don't touch my son.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't have no warrant for his arrest. You don't have no paperwork or nothing.
You ain't no real man.
In a shocking turn of events, the indictment of Dalton's police chief, B.L. Lacey, could have far-reaching implications for Mayor Tiffany Henyard's alleged corrupt empire. As federal charges loom over Lacey, the big question is whether Henyard's power structure is on the brink of collapse. Will her longtime allies spend years behind bars, or will Lacey flip on the mayor to protect himself? Lacey, a close confidant of Mayor Henyard, has been charged with serious crimes, including bankruptcy fraud, perjury, and making false statements. The charges stem from an investigation into a financial scam where Lacey is accused of concealing his assets and income to avoid paying a hefty lawsuit settlement of over $440,000. The charges are all linked to Lacey's attempts to cheat the system by declaring bankruptcy under false pretenses, leading to 9 separate charges against him. Each charge carries a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison. The legal trouble for Lacey adds to the mounting concerns about Henyard's administration. Federal prosecutors are continuing their investigation, with some trustees claiming that the $2 million budget deficit Henyard acknowledged is actually far greater, potentially in the millions. Henyard wasted no time responding to the allegations, attacking critics and dismissing the accusations. However, the indictment against Lacey, which stems from a broader probe into possible corruption involving the mayor's office, has put her in the crosshairs. Lacey's court appearance in October saw him dressed in a blue suit, where he had a brief private conversation with his lawyer, Yao Petke, to go over the charges. Lacey entered a not guilty plea, and Magistrate Judge Beth Jantz ordered him to surrender his work-issued firearm, as well as 2 others from his home, in addition to his firearm owner's ID card. While these restrictions are not directly tied to his role as police chief, they reflect the gravity of the situation. Judge Jantz indicated that the restrictions might be reconsidered if Lacey's lawyer can demonstrate how they interfere with his duties despite the serious nature of the charges. This investigation is part of a larger federal inquiry into potential corruption involving both Mayor Henyard and her police chief. Lacey's indictment is just the latest development in what could be a sprawling scandal that puts the future of Henyard's administration at risk. Federal authorities will continue to probe the situation, with a status hearing scheduled for October 1st before U.S. District Judge Thomas Turpin. As Lacey faces these charges and Henyard's administration is scrutinized, it remains to be seen whether this will be the scandal that unravels the mayor's grip on power or if her loyal police chief will manage to weather the storm.
She did admit to a $2 million budget deficit. However, trustees say it's really millions more.
Prosecutors have laid out a 9-count indictment against Dalton Police Chief B.L. Lacey, alleging that he devised a scheme to defraud. This is the latest controversy surrounding Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who has already faced multiple federal inquiries this year. Lacey's lawyer, Yao Pepe, addressed the media, asserting that the charges against his client are part of a broader effort to tarnish the mayor's reputation and destabilize her administration. Pepe emphasized Lacey's long tenure and respected service, calling the allegations politically motivated and a witch hunt aimed at undermining both Lacey's credibility and Henyard's position. The situation escalated when the village trustees voted to place Lacey on indefinite administrative leave. Pepe strongly opposed the move, arguing that the trustees had no legal authority to take such action. He claimed their decision was unlawful and overreaching, as it circumvented established protocols regarding administrative leave and employee rights. Furthermore, Pepe insisted that Lacey should continue receiving his salary, as withholding it would violate due process. He also suggested that the move was politically orchestrated to discredit Mayor Henyard, further fueling the ongoing tension, adding another layer to the legal battle. Pepe pointed out that the authority to sign paychecks ultimately rests with Mayor Henyard, implying that any effort to withhold Lacey's salary could face legal resistance. The dispute has only heightened the already charged political climate in Dalton, with federal investigations still looming over the mayor's office. Supporters of both Henyard and Lacey argue that the accusations are strategically timed to create political chaos, while critics see the ongoing legal troubles as indicative of deeper issues in the administration's governance. As the case unfolds, questions remain about the legitimacy of the indictment, the trustees' authority, and how these legal battles will impact Dalton's political landscape. The U.S. Attorney's Office has yet to release an official statement on the specifics of the case, leaving room for further speculation and intensifying the controversy. Legal analysts suggest that this case could set a precedent for how future administrative disputes are handled, particularly when political and legal conflicts intersect. For now, the legal battle continues, with both sides preparing for what is expected to be a prolonged and contentious fight, not just over Lacey's career, but also the broader implications for Mayor Henyard's administration and its ability to govern effectively under increasing scrutiny.
It as well, but now Keith Freeman is cooperating, doing what he should have been done in the first place.
Cooperating with trustees.
With the trustees.
Lacey's financial troubles date back to the 1980s, as the indictment reveals that he filed for a personal bankruptcy multiple times in Chicago. His most recent filings in 2019 and 2020 appear to help him delay a settlement he had reached in a 2017 state court case. The broader investigation has uncovered a pattern of financial misconduct, with the case revolving around a woman whose husband was murdered in 2012. According to the lawsuit, Lacey convinced the widow to hand over tens of thousands of dollars from her husband's life insurance payout through several interactions. Court documents allege that Lacey concealed bank accounts, misrepresented his monthly income, and falsely claimed to be separated from his wife in official filings and sworn statements, while Lacey admitted to expressing sympathy and checking on the plaintiff's well-being in court records. He denied taking any of the money. The lawsuit was eventually settled for $55,000, with Lacey making an initial payment of $112,000. However, fraud charges claim that Lacey filed for bankruptcy twice afterward to avoid paying the remaining $43,000. The indictment suggests that Lacey manipulated his reported income to evade creditors by lying about his living situation, including falsely stating that his wife did not contribute to his salary or house payments. This indictment is not an isolated incident, but rather part of a broader effort to dismantle what reports describe as a corrupt system entrenched in Dalton's governance. Mayor Tiffany Henyard is now central to these discussions, with allegations suggesting that she turned the Dalton Police Department into her personal enforcers. Under her leadership, the police force reportedly intimidated political opponents, extorted local businesses, and provided private security for Henyard and her inner circle. The indictment of Lacey, who served as both police chief and one of Henyard's most loyal supporters, is seen as a significant step in exposing and addressing the corruption that has plagued the community for years. If the allegations are proven true, the case against Lacey could be the first move in a larger effort to dismantle a corrupt system. Federal and state investigations are ongoing, and the unfolding legal battle could have far-reaching implications not just for Lacey, but for the entire political structure surrounding Henyard. The seriousness of these allegations highlights the need for further inquiry into Henyard's administration and her influence over local law enforcement. With growing calls for justice and accountability, this case may lead to a long-overdue reckoning for those accused of abusing their power in Dalton.
So stop playing these silly games, board of trustees, and putting people's lives in jeopardy.
Do what you want. But anything after this is insubordination.
They want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet. The mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing.
The newly appointed supervisor in Dalton is reportedly facing a drastic 90% pay cut if she is not reelected. But this is just one aspect of a growing controversy surrounding Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Henyard has been accused of double-dipping by collecting salaries from two lucrative positions while allegedly abusing her power to protect her own interests. Ethical concerns have been raised over her actions, with critics questioning whether she is more focused on preserving her financial security than serving the community. The lack of transparency surrounding Henyard's finances has only fueled public frustration, with residents wondering how their tax dollars are being spent. Many have also voiced concerns about Henyard's financial management. Sources suggest she has accumulated significant credit card debt, leading to speculation that she may be using the village's funds as a personal account. These allegations, combined with her refusal to provide transparency, have made the community even more upset, as people question whether their hard-earned tax money is being misused. Henyard's comments to neighbors have only escalated the controversy. Some have described her remarks as being more in line with those of a loan shark than a public servant, further tarnishing her image. The most serious accusations, however, center on Henyard's alleged involvement in criminal activity. Some people have even claimed that Henyard behaves more like a crime boss than a public official. Rumors abound that she may have had her political opponent's car shot at in an attempt to intimidate them, although the truth of these claims remains unclear. Regardless of their veracity, the fact that such rumors are circulating is telling. Henyard's behavior has been viewed with increasing suspicion, and it seems the community's trust in her is evaporating. Some reports have even stated that Henyard compared herself to the iconic civil rights leader, Martin Luther King Jr., adding to the perception that she has become increasingly disconnected from the reality of the community. She is supposed to serve as Henyard's leadership comes under scrutiny. There are reports that she travels with a sizable private security team funded entirely by taxpayers. While high-profile individuals often require security, many wonder why Henyard feels a need for such extensive protection, particularly given the lack of clarity about any genuine threats against her. These security expenses have raised additional questions about her priorities and whether they align with the needs of Dalton's residents. There are also rumors that Henyard has the support of the local police department, partly because of the significant overtime accrued by officers assigned to her protection. The situation has led some to question whether these officers are being used as pawns to safeguard Henyard's personal interests rather than protecting the community. With taxpayer dollars funding such large expenditures, there are growing concerns about how much of the police force's time and resources are being dedicated to the mayor's security detail, at the expense of addressing the town's pressing crime issues. Amidst this controversy, Lacey, the acting Dalton police chief, is facing federal charges related to financial misconduct, further complicating the already tense situation. His legal troubles are heating up, and the outcome of his case could have far-reaching consequences for the entire leadership of Dalton. The stakes are high, not just for Lacey, but for Henyard's administration, which is now the subject of a federal investigation. Henyard faces serious allegations of corruption and poor financial management that could bring the town to the brink of collapse. The financial situation in Dalton has deteriorated significantly under Henyard's leadership. According to an audit conducted by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, Dalton's general fund fell from $561 million in April 2022 to a deficit of $3.65 million by May 2024. An alarming swing of nearly $9 million in just 2 years. The audit also uncovered several troubling instances of taxpayer money being misused, including an astounding $333,500 spent on Amazon in a single day. Additionally, the audit flagged other extravagant expenses, such as nearly $7,700 spent on wayfaring transactions, among other questionable purchases. These findings have left residents in disbelief, prompting widespread outrage over how their tax dollars are being handled. Dalton's residents, already frustrated with Henyard's leadership, have expressed a deep sense of betrayal over these revelations. Village trustee Kiana Belcher echoed the community's indignation, describing the situation as a smack in the face to the people of Dalton. She and other critics believe the misuse of taxpayer money is an ongoing issue that needs urgent attention. With the federal investigation still ongoing and the public demanding accountability, the pressure is mounting for Henyard to explain her actions and provide transparency regarding her finances and leadership decisions. The growing controversy suggests that Dalton's political landscape may soon face a reckoning, and the town's future remains uncertain as legal and ethical concerns continue to swirl around Henyard's administration.